Welcome back to Horseshoe Theory, the only podcast that doesn't slowly kill you. Today, we have our editor, Henry, to explain the black pill. Now, when we hired Henry, and he was coming around doing our shorts, watching our footage, we always end up getting on the topic of like relationships and looks maxing and where the youth is at. And we slowly learned that Henry is like an expert in this. And if you think there's nothing to be an expert in, you gotta listen to the whole podcast, because this goes so much more deep than you would ever expect. In this episode, we talk about facial analysis, looks maxing, lookism, hard maxing, breaking your own legs to grow taller, the black pill, the red pill, money maxing, every autistic internet term you've been hearing for the past 2 years gets de-autismified in this episode. So please give your undivided fourth dimensional attention to our editor, Henry, as he explains the black pill.
We've come to learn that you're kind of a black pill expert.
Hearing that out loud makes me regret some things. But.
So we want to talk to you about the black pill. We want to talk to you about your history with the black pill and why it's mainstream now.
Yeah. I'm also working on a video, big project, so I've been just consumed with incel and black pill literature for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, every time at the studio I walk by watching Brogan work on the black pill videos, like, the world's not ready for this video. It's too extreme. It's too incredible.
They don't want you to hear it.
It's true.
No.
It's true. This video is going to be the best video of all time. I'm saying it now. Best YouTube video ever.
I'm excited. It's very, very dear to my heart, you know?
Same with me. Same with me. I think, I don't know, the black pill, incel, red pill, the whole thing. It's kind of like the masculine shadow incarnate as an ideology. I think every man sort of sees even if minuscule, like a tiny fraction of themselves in those ideologies. They see the insecurity. They're like, I know what they're getting at. When like with the insecurity, with the obsession with your face, with the obsession with optimization.
Yeah. Do you think the black pill is like masculine? Like, I think the red pill is like very masculine, but I would say the black pill is actually more like feminine.
Well, this is where I want to start. So we're familiar with these terms, red pill, black pill. We don't really have formal definitions. What's the difference? Okay,
so to me, I think the red pill, it's both kind of, I don't know the exact origins. The red pill, you have like Andrew Tate, you know, you have like a lot of self-improvement. You have a focus on building like your worth as a man, and worth here is defined, you know, monetarily, and sort of also like on what you can do. And it's less about what you are as a person and less about like your qualities and more about what you can do. Whereas the black pill, I think, takes like a more, it focuses more on like the kind of thing that you are, like how you look, how tall you are, what your voice is like. It's all these things that you can't really change, or maybe you can, but it's not about your actions.
Right. So that was my inclination of the difference, right? So the red pill is this idea that you can just get game, you can go to the gym, do some like, you know, soft stuff, and you can get women. And black pill is like genetically, this is the case, and that's why it's black pills, because there's not a lot you can do about your genetics.
Oh yeah, or it's over, you know.
Right, it's over. It's brutal.
Before it began.
Yeah.
It was over before it began. Yeah. And so one of the things we were talking about, I think yesterday, was like the intersection of the red pill and the black pill is kind of like looks maxing. Yeah. Because that's the actionable stuff you can do about your genetics.
Yeah.
Is that a working definition?
I think for sure. Like basically, on the biggest looks maxing forum, there is a section called money maxing. So that's like a very red pill idea, right? On the actual incel forums, you don't have like people trying to make money because they think it's just a cope, right? And also, yeah.
Okay. So should we begin with how did you find out about this? How did you get into the black pill?
Okay, so I had
because you were doing this before it was mainstream, and now like Penguin Zero's talking about it. So
I have to say, I only got on like a couple months before it was mainstream, so I'm still like a bit of a new cell. But I had a friend who was he was like a traditional incel, you know, like 2019, 2018. He was very into it. We never talked about it and stuff, but I sort of like knew about this space, and then I got really curious last year on the summer. I would say it really blew up in like June, July, and I started looking at it in maybe like March or something. And it's pretty funny because on the forums people will bully you if you join late. It's like sort of like a gatekeeping thing because they don't really have a lot else to go off of.
Yeah.
But yeah. You can say I'm a bit no, whatever. People call them TikTok cells, like people who chime in with the new.
Oh yes,
from the looks maxing.
Right, because it's blowing up on TikTok now, and so there's this influx of people to the black pill forums from TikTok.
Yeah.
Because this is where black pill ideology is propagating the most rapidly. This is in large part why it's mainstream.
Yeah, TikTok, 14-year-olds, you know, middle schoolers, it's really spreading.
My 12 and 14-year-old cousins, I remember when they started talking about the black pill, I was like, we gotta get rid of the internet ASAP.
What they start talking about?
When they were like 11 and 13, like they've been talking about it for a year.
Like
and
the black pill specifically?
Specifically the black pill, yes. And they say things like it's over, it's brutal. And they're like their brothers, and they're like, I mog you. They say that to each other. Like,
that's 11 and 13.
11 and 13. And they were like, well, I mean, they were like into the depths of the internet at like 8, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think your cousins, like even among like TikTok stars, they're probably like more into it than most.
Yeah.
Like most people, they have like they say like mog or stuff. Mog is like common vernacular now. It's like as much as like Riz. But most people still, I think they aren't as pessimistic as like actual incels or actual like people on the forums are. They aren't as like kind of like brain rotted about, you know, all the things you can do and then all like the things it's like over for, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back to trying to make a linear narrative of your life here in terms of the black pill. What made you interested in the black pill specifically?
I think I felt like I was seeing like I was learning a lot of stuff that I'd never seen before for the first time. And I think also everyone is like a bit vain to a certain extent, right? And you see like things that kind of offer you the promise of like, you know, looking better, feeling better about yourself. I had like a lot of insecurities for like a long time. I think a lot of people in the forums, everyone has insecurities, right? But you see like a promise to sort of, you know, change that. There's like I think one of the first things that struck out to me was there's a section on the forum called Best of the Best. Yeah. And they have...
Just a little closer.
They have a ton of stuff that I genuinely have never seen before. Like, for example, you know, chemicals you can inject or like procedures you can do to change radically how you look. Or even just like mental stuff. A lot of people, they complain about having like high inhibition, you know, they're like too scared to talk to people, or they have like a lot of social anxiety and stuff, which I've never been diagnosed, but I can relate to like overthinking these things, right? Yeah. And they talk about going on like stuff like, I don't know, cabergoline, which is like something you take if you have like a pituitary brain tumor, and then they say it reduced my inhibitions and stuff. So I felt like I was seeing all this stuff that I had never seen before, and I felt like really it was very exciting, you know?
Mental cells, as they call them.
Yeah.
You were actually on one of these things.
I took so this was like a height maxing stack. It was a very bare bones one. There are more complex ones you can find. There's a lot of height, so people max different things, right? The height maxers on the forum, the main ways that they try to do it, there's two things that control how tall someone ends up being. People will say it's genetics, but what exactly does genetics entail? You know, what are the mechanisms that are stopping someone from growing taller? The first one is the amount of growth hormone you have in your body that your body naturally produces. So your body at night produces growth hormone, and growth hormone doesn't interact directly with bone growth, but it creates IGF-1, and then the IGF-1 makes your bones grow at epiphyseal plates, which are like at the top and bottom of your bone.
Right. There's
like a joint part, and that part, there's like a cartilage plate, and that cartilage plate is the only part that grows, because bone doesn't grow, cartilage grows. And so this IGF thing helps your cartilage grow, and also at a certain point, your cartilage turns to bone. It hardens, and you can no longer grow from that point. That's when your growth plate seals. So for everyone, growth plates seal at different times at different parts in your body, but the main thing that controls when they seal is estrogen. That's why women turn out shorter, and that's why they stop growing before men do, because when puberty hits for women, they get a lot more estrogen and before men do. So that's why they stop growing. Yeah. So what I did was, what people advise you to do is you take a estrogen blocker. It's not a blocker. It's originally made for women who have breast cancer. And then the breast cancer, it feeds off estrogen, right? So they're like, if we stop the estrogen, it stops the cancer from growing. So what it does is it kills aromatase receptors. No, it kills aromatization cells in your body. And most men, they get their estrogen from turning testosterone into estrogen. But the cells that require to do it, this medication kills it. So it drastically lowers the estrogen in your body. I've like debated like on the forums like how much it does.
Yeah.
Studies say like it's from like 40 to like 70%. So it like ranges and stuff, but it is quite a bit. And then the second thing you do is you inject synthetic growth hormone. So it's called somatropin. They give it to kids who are growth hormone deficient, and bodybuilders will take it as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you're on breast cancer medication to get taller.
Yeah, I was. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. I grew wider.
The black pillars were wrong?
I think it would have worked if I did it 4 years earlier.
Black pillars were wrong. Okay, so you were too late.
I was too late.
This is something you got to get kids on.
Yeah,
Yes.
like 13-year-olds.
Yes,
Okay.
I will be injecting my son.
Okay, so so basically, just so we're clear here, the people who are like, don't get children on hormone therapy, but I gotta get my short son on the black pill,
Exactly.
estrogen, so he grows taller. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Is there a negative side effect to having, like, do you need the estrogen?
Yes, there's quite a few negative side effects. Like, you
Okay,
have to
because
be,
I imagine, like, if your body produces estrogen at that age, you need it for
yes.
some reason.
Yeah. So the first one is brain damage, right?
Okay.
Because estrogen's like very neuroprotective, and also I imagine this isn't like studied because scientists aren't like going, hey, let's turn off estrogen in this teen, right?
Yeah.
Or like it's different from blocking puberty. Blocking puberty is different from like allowing puberty, but then turning estrogen specifically off. But basically, it's neuroprotective, and I feel like it is required in development. I was already past puberty at that point, so I wasn't really too worried about like missing out on development, I think. But I think if you're like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, if you're taking this for like 2 years, I think you're gonna see serious like mental effects, I think. I think probably you should not do this as a teen.
So
Right.
you'd be tall, high test, and stupid.
Yeah.
So you'd be like running the world, basically.
This brings me to kind of a broader question I have with this black pill looks maxing
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of this really hard maxing black pill stuff seems like it has like dire consequences.
Yeah, I mean, if there were no consequences, then you would just be able to buy it at CVS.
Right.
Yeah. And I think also most of it is on the fringe, and it's on the fringe because it's stuff that people aren't really willing to risk yet. Like you have stuff like leg lengthening.
Yeah.
It's becoming more mainstream, as in people are becoming aware of it. But most people are still gonna think you're insane for like, you know.
And leg lengthening for those at home, that's when you
Yes.
smash your knees
It's
and they grow up.
fantastic. No, leg lengthening is when you go to a doctor in Turkey,
Yeah.
and then he smashes your.
Oh, I
your
see,
leg.
I see.
He like splinters it, and then your leg is like destroyed, and then he puts in a magnetic. He puts in 2 bolts attached to magnets on the outside, which he controls, and he changes the distance of it so your bone, you know, spreads out a bit and then regrows in the center. And hopefully there's no complications and you don't die.
Yeah.
And then you come back out and you have to do like physiotherapy for like years, like 2 years. And then after that, it's like a gamble if you can even run. Hopefully you'll be able to walk properly. But then the final result is that you are quite a bit taller.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a guy, one of my best friends growing up, was born with one of his legs like 3 inches shorter than the other. He got that surgery
Yeah.
to lengthen the leg so it was equal. But
Yeah.
he got it when he was like 9 years old. I remember he was in the hospital for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah, I remember I'd see him in the hospital. We'd go like play Webkins and RuneScape and shit when we were like 9. But yeah, he was in like unmoving from the hospital he missed a year of school to do this, and then like couldn't move for years after. But he was like in puberty, so when he became an adult, he's fine now.
Huh.
That's
But-
what it's for originally. It's actually quite beautiful that your friend like succeeded in.
Yeah, he totally turned out fine. He was a fully grown adult, but yeah, someone has a purpose.
I got a screenshot from a comment that I saw about one looks maxing thing. It says, jaw exerciser got an official warning from the UK government. Sorry, one sec, I just lost it. Jaw exerciser got an official warning from the government in Norway because it gave so many young adults headaches. You basically create a migraine by overstressing the jaw muscles.
That is hilarious. I think especially because that kind of stuff, like exercises for your jaw, the kind of muscular stuff, most people think it's cope on like forums, like because that's not even that hard, you know.
Right.
It's like yeah,
It's a cope because it's not going to work or because it's not enough.
it's a cope because it probably will work, but very very like little, like very minutely, and you're not going to see like drastic changes. You know?
Right. Too soft to max.
Yeah.
Too soft of a max.
Yeah.
I know. I've been on that mastic chewing gum. That's been pretty good.
We should tell this story.
My mastic chewing gum.
No, we should tell the real. Okay.
Oh, the whole story.
You
Yeah, I'll
plugged
tell
your
the whole
face
story.
into
Wait,
a black pill.
Yeah, so I'm
AI
writing
generator.
this black pill video, right? And I had this bit idea like off the cuff because I was looking up like black pill facial analysis images for the video, and I found an app that like uses AI to do a black pill facial analysis. And then I did it to myself, and I was like, "Oh, I'll include this in the video. This would be like a funny bit." And then it gave me like a 6.3, and I was like, "Oh, I thought I'd be like I didn't expect to be like a 10, but I'm like I thought I'd get a 7." And then I bought in like a 5-minute span. I bought a gua sha
Because
thing.
it specifically said your weakest point was your jaw.
Yeah.
And so you were like, I have to fix my jaw now.
I bought a gua sha.
It was so powerful. You immediately went into kind of a
It was like
rabbit
hypnosis. And I remember I ordered the stuff on Amazon and I was like, wait, that happened so fast.
Yeah, you're like, what am I doing?
What am I doing? I bought mastic chewing gum and a gua sha.
That's
Yeah.
what it does. It feels off your insecurities. You know?
Yeah.
That's why like women, like cosmetics, you know, all that beauty stuff is such a big industry.
Yes.
I definitely want to get to the facial analysis maybe later. We should circle back to that because that's a whole interesting fucking.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you to facial analyze us.
Very, very strange thing to do to my boss, but you know,
Yeah.
I'll try my best. Yeah.
This is also what this makes me think of is like if only reversing climate change got you laid, but instead all of our human energy and intellect is figuring out how to break our bones to grow slightly taller.
Yeah.
I think the thing about the black pill that's like depressing is it like works. Like I think you see actually like differences in your life afterwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, dude, I bartended a fancy bar, and these companies come in, these like high like lawyer offices downtown, like the companies downtown Toronto come in and hold their like corporate parties, and it's all VPs, and they're all fucking 6'2" white dudes, every last one of them. Like you can't like it's so I'm 6 feet tall and I'm standing in a room with 50 people, and every single one of them is 6'2" to 6'5" in suits with like Rolexes and APs on. I'm like, fuck, you know, like. You can't deny that, you know?
You can do like debates, like you can say, are they 6'2" because they come from like wealthy families and they ate well growing up, but also, you know,
or because they, you know, maybe your restaurant just attracts whitey.
Well, whitey, yeah, but you get farther. That's what I'm saying. Is like you do just naturally.
Right. People treat you better.
Yeah, that's not that controversial to say that if you're 6'4", you're just going to end up farther in life than easier with less effort.
People don't want to acknowledge it because it's like very, you acknowledge it and then there's nothing you can do about it. It's a very ugly truth.
Yeah.
Very ugly truth.
Well, that's why it's the black pill.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of truth that you get to and there's nothing you can do about it and you just feel depressed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Status is the ultimate social taboo. More than anything else.
Well, what do you make of this in terms of transhumanism? This is a part of your script, right?
Yeah.
So I would say looks maxers are like very, very transhumanist because they're willing to do like way more than the average person is. I think the average person has still like a lot of reservations about changing your body. Like even like minor things, you know, like people will see someone who's had plastic surgery or like Botox and then they'll like insult them because, you know, they view just like preserving your natural body as kind of the best thing to do. I think most people who are willing to do like the hard looks maxes are way past that point, you know, like not even like leg lengthening. If you're just willing to inject, like I think juice junk, like, you know, bodybuilders, they are a bit transhumanist because they're using like compounds, right?
Yeah.
And people who are doing like hard surgery on their face are well past that.
Yeah. I mean, if we have the technology to reach an aesthetic ideal and then you have the money and the ability to do so, and you're also not very ideologically driven, or like you don't value purity or whatever from whatever religion, if you're kind of born into like an atheist, valueless society, why wouldn't you go to the extra mile to fucking get high cheekbones, perfect jaw, be 3 inches taller?
People do. I mean, like it way predates the black pill. Black pill is just autistic teens finding out about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like people in Hollywood Hills were definitely doing all that stuff since like 70s or something, probably earlier.
But now it's mainstream.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about is like, why is it mainstream now?
And it's like not just a thing that can be traced back to like one group of people. Like I think it's happening in multiple places around the world. For like the same reason.
Right. So we were talking about this. What was the society you were talking about? Korea?
Korea. It's like super. It's like black pill like accelerated. You know.
Wow.
People. There's like a gulf between genders. People
specifically South Korea.
Yes. South Korea. Okay. No.
Which is also hyper capitalist.
I mean, North Korea's going the other way.
They're like
they're like minimizing. They're short maxing.
Have you ever heard of wemming?
Wemming?
It's like the opposite of mewing. Someone made an edit of me where they recessed my jaw and they're like like mowing or something.
Mouth breathing 24/7.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like an inverse looks max.
Yeah.
South Korea. Average height of like 4'2".
But yeah, tell us about Korea.
Yeah, South Korea. I think the main things you can look at are it's like the plastic surgery capital, right? And not just for women, also like men. You look at like the TV dramas, you look at like reality shows. Everyone is like super looks max, right? And I think it's like. Just like casual lookism is like very, very like ingrained. Like you look at a TV show, and this happens in like Hollywood too, right? But it'll be like the good characters are like very blatantly they're like super good looking, and then the bad characters are like comically like hideous, or it'll be like it's in the culture a lot. Like Korea has its own separate incel boards. I've never gone on them because I don't speak Korean. I'm Chinese, but they have like their own thing, and I've seen people post about them on the English forums, and they're like very similar to us ideologically, but in like different. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but the eye widening surgery.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
To get the big American eyes.
Well, this is that idea of techno capital. That's why those things are linked, because you need the money in order to do these surgeries. So the people with the money can get the surgeries and looks max, and the people without. That's why I have an incel video, and I have a little footnote in one of them, and it basically says, in the future, the only incels will be poor cells. And that's because if you have the money, you can just fix these problems, hypothetically, if the technology's there.
I mean, that's why Francis Fukuyama, the guy who wrote The End of History, like just came back on it because like transhumanism became a thing, and he's like, oh, this is going to be the next huge ideological shift. This is going to be the next rift in society, is rich people maximizing their physical output and their ability, and then poor people not having the money to.
Right. So did he change his mind about that whole end of history stuff?
Yeah, he's like this is the present. Like we're beginning to see this. This is going to be the next. Because he said the end of history, he says, is like it's the end of the communist versus capitalist versus fascist debate. Capitalism won, globalism won, and like history just ends, right? But he said this is the next war, is transhumanist.
He saw looks maxers and then he realized, oh, I was wrong actually.
He was like, end history now. I'm not asking anymore. End it. Please end history now.
Yeah.
No more
history.
No more history, please.
Jeez. So what is, we haven't asked the pivotal question, the terminal question. What is this in reference to?
Like looks maxing?
Yeah, the black pill. It seems very idiosyncratic. Whenever people talk about it, it's just like, there's never a big why.
Okay.
Is it to get laid?
Oh, well, first, like, are you asking like what does a black pill entail, or like why are people attracted to this?
Why are people looks maxing? Why are people doing facial analysis, growing taller? Like, what is the big why?
Yeah, I think for a great many it is to get laid, but I think even if it's not, people are doing it because they believe that their lot in life will just be like drastically different when they do it.
People will treat you better, like you were making the observation of those 6'2" guys.
And it's not just like with like, to get laid. It's like also people believe that like within their own family, within their own like friends, within like work and stuff, they'll get treated differently. Yeah.
And we all just did come to that conclusion that that's somewhat true, right? So it's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Why someone would want to looks max, right?
Yeah. So it attracts.
The better question is, why wouldn't you want to looks max? And the answer is because you're a God-fearing man.
If you like value authenticity or something. I was like that. Like I was very blue-pilled. I was like growing up, I like read a lot, and then I read like a lot of like, I don't know, romantic books or something. So I had like very romantic ideals. I'd be like, oh, I'll find someone who likes me for me, whatever, right? And I think I sort of tuned out a lot of the stuff that my peers were learning naturally. Like you go into like middle school, you learn naturally, what like brands are cool or whatever, right? Like what to wear and stuff. And I tuned that out because I saw it as like an inauthentic presentation of yourself.
Right.
And I think holding on to those ideals, I believed in them, but I also missed out on like a lot of stuff that people sort of naturally learn, which includes like people will judge you by your looks. So kind of like understanding and coming to this realization felt like a really like big thing for me, because I was finally like, oh, it's actually like a real thing that I've been kind of blind to.
Yeah.
I remember we had a conversation. I was like, don't you feel like the analysis of this kind of stuff is like antithetical to love? And you were like, no.
Yeah. Well, I think well, first of all, I think it's only antithetical if you believe in like unconditional love, because I think some people will be like, if you're changing yourself for all this, and then do you really want someone who will love you only because you look a certain way? And then I think that most people only love you, or I think you can only love someone because they are a certain way anyways, whether that be like personality related or like looks related. And I think, I'm not saying you should just get with someone because, they're pretty, right? That's like obviously not a good idea. But also things like mental state and personality do change. And like if you love someone for their personality, is it really more deep if the personality changes with stuff like brain tumors, with age, with like all that stuff?
Yeah, I guess like what is unconditional?
Yeah.
Is there this pure expression of love that you only feel for one person, and it's just completely irrational, and you don't feel for anybody else? Or it's always predicated on something? Or even like, I know people who are like, oh, I love my boyfriend. I'm like, why do you love your boyfriend? It's like, oh, because he's funny, and he's so smart, and he's into all these things, very passionate. And then you find the guy, and he's like dashingly handsome, and you're like, okay, so like, no, it's not a bad thing, but it's this love of the personality is predicated on the person being super, super attractive. Or
Yeah.
at least that's a major part of it. If they were like 5'2" and bald and morbidly obese and missing a fucking eye, you wouldn't love them the same way you love this person now.
That's one of like the big like instilled tenets. It's like the halo effect, where it's the idea that people who are attractive are perceived as having better personality traits for doing the same things than people who aren't. And
Yeah, well, that's a black pill. Is like
Yeah.
the beautiful are good, like in your Korean soaps, and the ugly are bad.
yeah.
Like not only are you get no cope, you're ugly and you're a bad person,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And people think you're dumb. Like it's yeah.
and you're dumb and you're stupid.
Yeah, this fucking podcast has made me depressed already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is pretty bleak. But that's why looks maxing is so appealing, because it makes you hope that you can change.
Yeah, that is the thin sliver of agency you have, no matter how slight of a chance, no matter how damaging it might be, that you can improve your lot in life.
Yeah, but I think there are genuinely like a ton of very serious improvements that you can make. Like
Okay, well, give us some
well,
looks maxing 101.
I think, the healthier you are, the better you're gonna look, right? This is like common sense.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I think a lot of people don't. I didn't realize ways in which I wasn't like I didn't realize how much body fat I had on until I started like cutting down, and then I just saw it like keep decreasing in places where I hadn't seen it decrease before, and my face, like I was never like. Sorry, Americans. I was never American fat before, but I really got to like slim, and the more slim I got, the more I actually saw the bones in my face, and I realized like I wasn't completely boneless. A lot of it was just obscured.
Yeah.
And also, other than that, like I think one of the big things was I had really poor skin for like a long time. Like it was very like dry. It was very like, it felt like saggy. It felt old, and then I didn't realize it was because I was getting like shit sleep. I had like sleep apnea, which I hadn't diagnosed. And then once I fixed that, my like skin really bounced back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. This like isn't like I don't know,
Our sleep might be terrible. Oh, you and me, we have like we both have concerns about our sleep.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
actually, I ordered a bunch of stuff just to improve it. But I was like soft maxing, just improving sleep.
Yeah.
Losing body fat.
That's an easy soft max.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like make sure you're sleeping well, eating well, exercising.
Yeah, like the people on the forums will say, if you're a fat cell, you're a volsa, which it's a bit crude, but I think there's some truth to it. If that's like the first thing that you can do that will have dramatic impacts.
Fat cells or vol cells. Remember that.
I like how the word cell means celibate, but then you can just start applying into anything. like fat celibate.
Yeah.
Vol celibate.
Because he just called himself a new cell when he joined the forums.
New celibate. Yeah.
Okay. This is
That's so funny, man. Fuck.
Honestly, I think most people who are like I think if you do like a Venn diagram of looks maxers and like incels, it's not even like mostly overlapping. Yeah.
Not mostly overlapping.
Yeah, like I think most incels don't really try, and then I think most looks maxers aren't actually incels.
Yeah.
I think there's like some overlap in the middle, but
Oh yeah. No, definitely. So what's the is there a way out? I think about this a lot. I've been thinking about this with everything recently. I just think there's this curtain that existed over society for like most of history, and it's been ripped away. And everyone knows that money is bullshit and status is bullshit and everything's kind of predetermined and nothing you believe makes sense at all. You can't trust doctors. There's this veil that's been ripped away. And it's like driving people insane. Like, how do we go back? Or how do we at least like improve the situation where, I don't know, man, just like the amount of teenagers that talk about fucking looks maxing.
Well,
insane.
I can't answer that whole question, but I can answer the how do we go back question, and the answer is there's no going back. You're not going to put the genie back in the bottle.
I know we're not going to put the genie
You're not
back in the
going to
bottle.
unlearn what we've learned.
Yeah, I know we can't do that. But we should.
So the question is, how do we go forward?
Yeah, how do we go forward without people just like killing themselves?
Yeah.
I think you should.
Or breaking their legs.
I think you should listen to dumb 14-year-olds instead of your parents, and yeah, as another 14-year-old.
So, as we talk about this, what are some glaring flaws with this philosophy? Does anything pop up?
Some glaring flaws, first of all, are that a lot of people are going to see this and their insecurities are just going to build, and it's going to make them self-destruct without being aware of it.
Yeah.
So, for example, there's like a very famous guy on the forum. He was called like Curly Head James, and he was like a 14-year guy or something. He came on the forum. Everyone, like, people thought he already had like a pretty good like base. They thought he was like a pretty boy. But he saw the forum and it like magnified his insecurities, and he was in a very precarious position. He had money, because I think his parents were out of the picture or something. I don't know if they died or something, but they left him money. But he didn't have like good people in his life that he could like, you know, talk to about these things. And he didn't have people to tell him like, you know, stop, you're like fucking up your like face in your life, right? So then he just like listened to these like people on the forum, and he got like these he got like implants, he got like all kinds of like face surgeries, and then he came out looking like very, very uncanny. And that's like an example of like, you know, maybe you shouldn't let your kids like terminally be online and then just like listen to destructive advice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe the lesson here is like, in terms of like the internet and technology, you should be a certain age before you get to make these kinds of decisions.
And before you do encourage 15-year-olds to smash their cheekbones.
Yeah, like even adults. So like I think it never really stops. Like you hear about billionaires. There was a billionaire, I think he died doing leg lengthening. There was an Indian billionaire. This hit the news. He died because he did like a penis beginning surgery.
I wanted to talk to you about the penis stuff.
He's already a billionaire. I don't understand, like, what else do you need if you're already a billionaire and you...
Didn't go to his penis, you know?
Or, like, leg lengthening surgery. Like, you're a billionaire, you're getting laid.
Well, I guess think about it like this way. If you're a billionaire and then you're in the room with other billionaires, and then that billionaire is, like, six foot, you know? And you're, like, 5'4".
Yeah.
And he comes and steals your billionaire wife.
Yeah, damn.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
This penis lengthening stuff, Moist Critical was talking about. This is part of the
Really?
Yes, this is part of the black pill mainstreaming. It's like really, really mainstream.
Okay.
He was just talking about how, you know, there's all these techniques to just get like a few extra millimeters.
Jelking.
Yeah, jelking, and it's like it can be really damaging for your obviously genitals.
I'm not like too aware. That's actually more on like the red pill sphere. So actually like stuff like, do you guys know More Plates, More Dates?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, you know, part of like the Jimbo part. That is another part of like the transhumanist, like, you know, injecting stuff.
Yeah.
Incels take a lot from that, but I think I haven't seen much on like penis lengthening and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, everyone claims to have like an 8 inch on the forums anyways. So I guess they don't need it, but I have heard, Joe, it does seem pretty painful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to cut my dick in half and put a segment of a black guy's dick in the middle of it so it looks like a candy cane.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the black pill forum characters, because I know you said that there's some like famous people on there. Like, what are some
I would
legends?
say first of all, there's a culture of kind of worshiping like a couple models or just like people like ideals. This is like aesthetic ideals who aren't actual users. You have like supermodels from like the 2000s and 90s and stuff. One of them who's like super big on TikTok. TikTok sells know Chico and they know Jordan Barrett. So these two are like, they were super big, like male models. There's a couple more on the forums. But then there's also a serial killer, Richard Ramirez. I don't know if you guys know him.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, people think that he is also another good example of like good bones, also because he had like a lot of fangirls. And then in terms of like actual forum characters, you have a couple. It changes a lot because you have like a lot of turnover with the forums. Most people you have some people who stay there and they rot forever. But you also have a lot of people who realize that it's not really, after a certain point, you don't really get a lot more from being on the forums. But there's like a guy called Amnesia. People say he's like a chat on the forum, but he's like 35 and he's still like trying to pick up girls. He does pick up girls. He's on the forum. He's posting shit. I feel like it's kind of bleak. There's also another guy called Arborist. He has an insane physique. Like his waist is like maybe like 1/3 of what his shoulder like this. And then he's also like an old dude. You have a guy called Black Gym Max. He's a Toronto guy, actually.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, you guys go to like a Planet Fitness and find him. I think he works there.
Get him on the pod.
But yeah, he's like very toxic. He may have gotten someone to... Yeah, anyways. Yeah, so he's pretty famous. There's like a couple others. There's a guy called like... Sometimes you'll go on TikTok and you'll see people making like... They're called PSL edits, like Imagine Sigma edits, but it's like, you know, about their looks instead of like money or something, and they'll make it about forum users. It's very awkward to watch. But
What is PSL?
PSL, it stands for 3 websites that sort of this kind of culture came from. First one is, I think, Pickup Artist Hate, and it's because they hated like the idea that you could just go up to the street and like pick up any...
Right, so it's like an anti-red pill, black pill forum.
Yeah. And then the second one is the slur for women, and then hate, and then which I will not be saying. And then the third one is...
Do you want to say it?
No. Also, I see that there's an empty chair over here. Could you pick up the vape on that chair and give it to me?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Please, I want a job, please. Okay. And then the third website is lookism.net, which was the precursor to the current biggest Looksmacks forum, looksmacks.org. And then lookism.net, they shut it down, but basically that was the first one. And PSL stands for like the rating scale and ideology that came from those forums, where you would basically rate based on stuff like, you know, bone structure, like how much forward growth you have, certain features like bone hooding and stuff. I can tell you about it if you guys would like.
Yeah, the specifics of like...
Yes.
Because that's really interesting to me. You told me so many facial analysis metrics I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
And they were so like niche and like upper eyelid exposure.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Well, I showed you upper eyelid exposure.
That's like the hunter versus prey eyes.
No, it's different.
So for people who don't know, upper eyelid exposure is like how much of this part you can see. So I have a decent amount, but it's like it's not actually that bad for me because I don't have a crease here. So some people, they have like a crease and then they have like a lot of very obvious skin here, and that's bad because it makes it seem like you have like bulging eyes or like bug eyes.
Yeah.
Which is like
bug eyes. Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, it's a very like
worse than
rude
prey
way
eyes
to put it out. I mean, to describe it, but that's what it is, and it's caused by either you have not enough fat here, because this is like fat that causes me to not have a crease here, or you don't have enough bone hooding. So if you're lacking like bone here, then your upper eye is just uncovered. And then also you have like under eye exposure, which is the same thing, but underneath your eyes.
Yeah.
And also it causes sagging sometimes. You know how some people have like sagging eyes? It's because there's not enough bone to hold up their eyes.
Right. Yeah. You were telling me about this.
And then next, yeah, I'll just keep going. So then for your nose, you have like under nose support. It's part of your upper jaw, but there's also another part. It's the maxilla. So people's skulls, they have like holes in the nose, but they also have like bones that push out and hold up the cartilage of your nose. And if you don't have enough, your nose can be like sunken in. Like mine is a bit sunken in. If you look at my side profile, it's like it droops a bit, and it's because my bone is not super projecting. Generally, white people have the most projected noses. Like this isn't like weird race science. Like genuinely, this is just like a difference in races. And it's bad to have a droopy nose because well, first of all, the side profile, whatever, but also on the front, when you get fatter, if your nose is not as projected out, and your cheeks, they become fatter, you'll get like lines here. These are called nasolabial folds, and people like really don't want them, right?
Yeah.
So like Hollywood celebrities, they'll get Botox and stuff to try and avoid it. But the real issue is not skin. It's because your structure of your face is not like...
Do you want to kill ourselves after this?
No, I got those. I got the folds.
Yeah, I like had it like too really bad, but actually it improved after I leaned down and then I hydrated my skin more. But I think they're inevitable.
Right,
like,
right. As you age, yeah.
Yeah, I feel... I don't know, man. Keep going.
I'm down for the groups.
Are you of British descent?
Scottish.
Okay.
So, this is a question I have for you. Is you say, for example, like white people have better noses, essentially. They're more projected.
Yeah, it depends on the ethnicity. Like, I think a lot of... The UK has a reputation of having similarly flat faces to a lot of Asians. Like, I have a typical, I would say, Korea and China has my kind of like flat face. You get different faces as you get different ethnicities. Like, for example, like that's why I asked if you were British.
Do I have a flat face? My face is pretty flat.
No, but it's just like not very projected. Like some white people have like extremely forward projected faces.
I know what you mean, where the big. I know what you mean. I can picture that.
It's like the idea, and it's like kind of fucked up because you'll have like Koreans who...
Give me your side profile. I want to see it. It's not... Yeah, forward projected.
Yeah.
That's pretty forward projected.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You can also see... Oh, yeah?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can also see his maxilla is not flat. So if you like turn, it goes like in and then out.
One of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, keep going.
Yeah, so some people have flat maxilla, some people have like curved ones.
Is that this?
It's this part. So you can see how like behind his nose, that part is like... It's like not flat, whereas I have like a flat one like this.
Oh, I see.
So flat is actually not necessarily bad. Some people think it's bad. Personally, I think it's not that bad. Like I find a lot of flat faced people attractive, and then I think also whatever, bro. I think a lot of looks matches will tell you beauty is like very objective. I think to a certain extent some things are like I think no one will find visibly unhealthy people attractive, but I think also a lot of it is cultural.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Is like how much of this. And we're going to represent the far left here on this podcast. How much of this is colonialism and whitey? I think when it comes to like colonialism's effects, I think it's mostly like mental. Like I think it's about wanting to date. I don't think colonialism makes
blonde hair as a feature attractive like biologically, but like it makes people like, oh, you know, I'm dating like a blonde hair person, you know, this is like a high status thing to do. I feel like one of them, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there definitely is a lot of impact on like media culture. I think, well, first of all, no, there's like no country where like being white is like it's like over, you know. It's like there's never a country where it's over to be white.
It's always good to be white in every country.
Yeah. But in most places in the West, for example, it's really tough if you're
not in South Africa. Hey,
is it over? And
it's over in the sense that there's like race riots and stuff.
Okay, yeah. But like, for example, for races or like ethnicities that don't get a lot of media representation in those countries, it's very tough. Like if you're Indian in the US right now, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. And if you're Asian 15, 20 years ago, it was pretty tough. Now you can see it happening real time. Like people are changing their opinions on Asian guys and Asian women because of K-pop.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Well, so because in incel forums, it's disproportionately like what, Indian?
Yeah, there's a ton of Indians, but it's also a ton of guys in India who are Indian on the forums, and they wouldn't really be facing the race problem. I think
they're in a different
just
environment.
On the internet.
Yeah, okay, I see. That's how.
There's just a lot of Indians.
A lot of Indians. Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I like it. Like on the forum, people will use like I think it's Hindu slang. I don't know, but those are like BHAI, like bi, as like a form of endearment.
Oh, interesting.
Or yeah, it's
like Indians talking to Indians on the forum.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then
it's so fascinating.
Yeah, but generally, there's honestly a very good mix of people in the forums. Like you have people from Europe, people from like very few from Asia, honestly, because most of Asia doesn't speak English. But or if they do, they're not on these websites. But you have, you know, a lot of people in America, a lot of people in Canada, some a lot of people in Europe, a lot of people in like the Balkans, you know. No one in Africa, I think. No one in quite a few South Americans. There's a lot of Brazilians there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So and then South Korea has its own form.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And Japan as well. I think Japan would be interesting because they're very, like, they've never been colonized. Like, they're very homogenate culture.
They got, like, military, what do you call it, like, occupied by the U.S., though, right? For, like, a long time.
Entirely?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what's going on in Japan, so...
Yeah. But that is interesting, especially, I mean, Korea, as this is kind of what you talk about in your video, the capital plus the transhumanism stuff. Like Korea is a very hyper sort of society, hyper pop, K-pop, hyper K-pop, a lot of money, a lot of capital, and then you can see that on their faces, literally. Like, were you telling me that they like for your 18th birthday they'll give you like a nose job or something like that? So there's like cultures where I think it was Korea, yeah, like that's like a common practice.
Okay, I don't know too much of it, but it's definitely very common. Like
you turn 18, you get a nose job.
Yeah, that's like a common like 18th birthday gift.
Maybe in some circles, I think. Yeah. Well, but I remember like one of my, if you look at like Singles Inferno, that's one of the biggest dating shows in Korea right now. But like everyone on there has gotten work done.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
But what extent? I don't know. I always come from a very, I don't know. Maybe you're gonna age and die. Like your face is gonna change. You exist in flux.
Yeah. It's very like the opposite of Buddhism, where it's like you have to like let go, like allow things to pass through you. And it's like, no, like you hold on to every aspect of your youth as it slips away minute by minute, and every piece that you lose causes you so much agony because your ego is like wrapped up in it.
Yeah. Why are we promoting that?
Well,
why don't we have societal memes to fight against it?
Yeah.
That's what's interesting.
I think it is worth noting that it's mostly like young people though who are, because I think young people don't really have anything else. Like if you're like 16, you're not gonna have like anything else to put your self-esteem in, you know. Like you don't know how to do carpentry or anything. You don't know how to make money yet, probably. So, you know, you don't know what you're good at. So what else are you gonna feel like you are worth something for?
How old are these models that the black pill people venerate?
One guy's like 30 something with kids now. The other guy's like also 30, but he's gay. And then
interesting, because like you said that some of these people were they didn't know about the black pill, but now they do. They're using the black pill terms.
Yes. So Chico has joined the TikTok cells. He is collaborating with the biggest TikTok looks maxer. He's collaborating with a guy called or he did a collaboration with a guy called Syrian Psycho, like like.
Yeah, I've been looking into this guy for my video.
Yeah, K showed me, and then it's like very strange because he is very against the idea. Like he would be like you said, why are we promoting this? He was saying, he did like a podcast, and he got like another of the incel models on, like the incel idealized models, and they were like, just be a good person, Max. Like do service and stuff, and then
Be a good person, Max.
It's a good point. You should be doing that. But then also some people in the comments made good points. Like being a good person got me laid. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Be a good person. What was I gonna say?
Maybe the cultural memes aren't very prevalent right now because this is just something that's becoming mainstream, and like a counter to it hasn't really emerged. Or maybe it's because people who would create memes against it don't get laid, and then they just die out.
Yeah.
People will definitely get sick of it. Very shortly.
Well, I mean, you need to, with aging. I mean, this is something I've gone through. As I'm turning 26. You watch yourself age in the mirror. I don't look like I did when I was 22, 23.
I hate aging.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I look at myself. I look older.
I watched this fold. Like I had this fold I've always had. Now, like when I smile, it goes under my lip, and I'm like, that's new. The lines in my forehead get a bit deeper, but like I look like a man.
Yeah.
I look like a man who's lived life and seen shit.
It helps when in your mind's eye you've also plotted out the exact year you'll become a dad.
Oh yeah.
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 Because you're like, well, I got to look like a dad when I become a dad.
Yeah, I'm quite okay with just looking like a man.
Yeah.
But
like being still mentally like in the place where you were when you were like 21, but looking like you're 40 is like horrifying.
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's completely horrifying.
Because you're not where you should be.
Yeah.
You should be giving back to the world in some way, whether that's children mentorship, whatever. But like if you just are 40 and you're still trying to pick up chicks like this 35-year-old.
Yeah, you're on fucking Tinder looks maxing.
Yeah,
getting your legs sawed in half to be 6'4" instead of 6'1".
Sad.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Truthfully, I think men are allowed to age more than women are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's so interesting. I was talking with my girlfriend the other night. It's like the most unspoken male privilege.
Yeah.
Is that like men get to age and like they're always kind of venerated for aging. George Clooney was like sexiest man alive a couple years ago. He's fucking 55.
Fuck. I wish we could get a woman's perspective on that, but we can't.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and women, they say the black pill is like hit the wall.
But like honestly, the black pill is like way worse for women because it's so ingrained that it's not even something you can talk about. Or you can, but it's just like so it's not novel, Like women know from the time they're like kids that they will be judged for their looks.
Yeah. It's sad. I really feel for women.
Yeah, me too. That's fucking awful.
I just found out about like what women go through, and it's really tearing me up.
Yeah.
Jeez. I think it's also interesting that it's an interesting caveat, I guess, between like men's and women's aesthetics is men have one ideal, right? I feel like women, there's a bit more variance in like what is attractive in terms of body type or facial features, but men have an absolute single ideal of like height and what your body looks like and what your face looks like.
I think height is true, but I think others, maybe it's slightly debatable. Like, some women like a more masculine guy, some women like a more like androgynous guy. Yeah.
Pretty boy maxing.
Yeah.
Just pretty boy maxing.
But certainly stuff like height, I think, is kind of universally. Like, I think if you ask any girlfriend, they'll probably like, they'll deny it, but I think if they could magically make their boyfriend 1 inch taller and like nothing else changes and their boyfriend doesn't know and then like no one else knows, I think they would probably do it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll deal with that.
Yeah.
I think the thing with I always imagine the black pill being propagated originally, like there's guys out there who it is over for, or like at least significantly, right?
This is something you say in your script. It's like, I feel bad for you in the same way I feel bad for a guy with no arms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like there's guys out there who like, went bald at fucking 17, 5'1", weird body fat everywhere, disfigured faces, like every fucking box was not ticked.
They call them like true cells, and it's actually like it's a rhetorical device that incels will use. It's called the Indian janitor theory. So it's like whenever someone has a blue pill response to the black pill, like just be yourself, just be like a good guy and you'll find someone who likes you. They ask, so what if I'm like a 5'2" Indian janitor who's balding and makes like 20K a year? So if I am just myself, will I find like a woman who I love. And then it's a bit hard to fight your way out of that one.
What's it called? The janitor?
It, like,
5'2" Indian janitor.
The janitor rhetoric?
yeah, there's like no like formal name, but you know, yeah.
That's interesting.
The Indian janitor gambit.
The Indian
Well played. I have nothing for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's true though, right? It's interesting. I do feel bad for those. I think that's where society, like pop culture's critique of the black pill and pop culture's critique of incels, they get it really wrong. Is that it's just like, oh, these people are entirely responsible for how they act and feel, and they're just bad people. It's like, no, we should have like at least a bit of comprehension of the things that put them there, right?
And people are all like, people understand that looks matter to a certain degree. Like, no one is gonna look at a burn victim as like being foolish for doing like a reconstructive surgery.
Yeah.
But it's only like once you get past a certain point that they think is.
Well, that is transhumanism. Like, no one is going to say, I'm a guy with no arm. Oh, hey, there's a robot arm. Cool. No one's going to be like, no, don't do that. But as soon as that guy gets a robot arm that's stronger than a regular human arm, then the guy at the arm wrestling competition gets 2 robot arms that are like 3 times strong, or like 5 robot arms, and now all of a sudden you need to have 4 robot arms to pack your Amazon warehouse job more efficiently.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's 4 arms from Benton.
This is actually something. This is a point Ted Kaczynski makes.
Really?
Like very frequently.
He's very prescient.
Yeah, very, very.
I mean that's why Francis Fukuyama went against the end of history, is because he's like, that's the war we're gonna face. Is that like same with looks maxing? If there's a point where, you know, probably not me, but my kids are like, I just want to be natural, and they're like 6 feet tall and like, you know, fairly normal, attractive looking, and then everybody at high school is on steroids and HGH, and every guy in their class is like a fucking near perfect specimen of man. I'm gonna say to my son like, oh, you know, you can't do that. Right? It just becomes a new world to compete in.
That's the 21st century version of straight maxing. Like straight edge, you know? Yeah, we just don't modify your body at all.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Straight maxing?
No, it's straight edge.
Oh, like straight edging. Straight edging.
Straight edge.
I'm straight edging.
I'm straight edging.
I'm straight gooning.
I'm max gooning. I'm goon maxing.
Goon maxing and straight edging. Yeah.
Fucking Christ. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I mean, it already happens in Hollywood. I mean, I've thought about it like, dude, I've like 60K subs and like a fucking F-list internet celebrity, and I've thought about like, I need to get leaner as fast as possible. With like, I've been doing like keto and shit, because I'm in the gym a lot, and I always keep a lot of body fat, but I like feeling really good in the gym. Like, I like having good lifts, and when I keep more body fat, I just have a better gym session. Yeah,
you feel like shit when you're like too lean.
Yeah, you feel like shit, and like your lifts feel like shit. You don't feel like no motivation to go to the gym. You have no motivation to work out or go for runs. And I've just been like, I need to get 12% body fat. I'm probably like 24 right now. Like, I need to get down because I have like a public persona now.
So another thing you can do, so what models will do before going on to like a run is they'll like de-bloat, as in they'll get rid of the water from their body. So Chico, he's like one of the model guys. He says he used to drink like 5 cups of tea or something, but what people on the forums say is you can use a pill to de-bloat. They say use furosemide, which is like a legit medical grade thing, which you should not be doing, I think, because it'll cause like kidney damage or something. But I got like uva ursi off of Amazon. It's like bearberry extract or something, but they use it to treat UTI. So it's a diuretic. It gets the water out of your body, and you look a bit leaner.
Same with like dandelion extract, does that as well. Keto really helps too. I mean, you shed all the water out of your body.
Yeah,
it's really nice, and you just lose weight like crazy.
Yeah,
I'm very pro keto.
So you gotta take that pill before every podcast now.
Yeah, I gotta lean out as fast as possible. But I mean, I agree. It's the same with like bodybuilding. Same with anything. Like, I've been in the gym I've been studying the gym for 3 years. I don't think, besides my actual like proportions when I stand up, I don't think people look at my biceps and be like, oh, you're like a huge gym rat, because you're like, you know, you're competing against guys. When people think gym rat, when they think of a guy that goes to the gym, they think of a guy who's been on gear for 2 years. Yeah. Right? Who has like just unrealistically big biceps. I see a lot of shit now of people like reacting to natty physiques on TikTok, and it's like everyone in the comments like roasting him, like, I could have done that in 2 months. You look like shit. And the video will be like, oh, this is what 10 years in the gym looks like, and he looks like a jacked, you know, he's not super lean, but he like looks good, like looks like a big guy. You know, steroids are like the #1 drug in the UK right now. That's crazy. I believe it. Yeah. Like that's like just another example of like the same forces that create like black pillars or like looks maxers, like operating and creating different effects. It's like, this is what I call the male to male trans person. Yes. Like lowercase m to uppercase m, lowercase f to uppercase f. This is all examples of being trans and being transhuman. And it also, all of these debates intersect with
transgenderism. Like these are all the questions of transhumanism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone talk about that? And is there any like contemporary piece of media that has that? Did someone ask that question? Like, how is bodybuilding different from transitioning? 'Cause that's such a fucking crazy question to ask somebody.
I'm sure people have this is kind of like a.
I've never seen. I think that's the kind of question that would really break a lot of conservative rhetoric. That I don't think anyone like. That's such a fucking crazy question to ask. Like, how is bodybuilding different? How is a man bodybuilding and taking steroids different than a man transitioning and taking estrogen to become a woman? On paper,
Yeah.
Why is the process different? And why is the outcome different? And why is the need for the process different? No one fucking asks that.
No, I agree actually. And like if you look at the people in those two communities, they actually, I think they're very aware of how similar they are. Like a lot of trans people will get, if they can't get it from like a medical healthcare provider, they'll get like
yeah,
or they'll get like the needles and stuff the same way.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah. I mean, you see it. It's propagating. It's percolating in the fucking zeitgeist, man. You know that meme of like the pipe, and then the greedy CEO getting all the water from the pipe, and then the guy below getting the drip.
Yeah.
I saw one at the pipe says testosterone, the CEO says greedy transgenders, and then the guy getting the drip says bodybuilders.
Yeah.
It's out there, man. That the seed is planted for that idea to fucking propagate.
Yes. And then the intersection is transmaxing.
Yeah, transmax is. I love that. So interesting to me.
Yeah.
We have we have one famous forum transmaxer. They're called The Cell, and then
Vassell.
yeah,
Oh my god.
they were like an Asian dude, and then I think now they're like an Asian woman, so good for them.
That seems like the natural look. I'm for that.
Yeah.
Like if you're a tiny skinny guy,
Yeah,
and you get no luck, just like fucking.
It's like
get those hips popping, get a wig on.
I know. I personally know some examples of that.
Transmaxers.
Yeah. Well, kind of in the way that you're describing it.
I thought about it because like a couple years ago before I did all this, like I realized I had like a tiny frame, but then also I realized like I know I like women, and I think it's kind of redundant and a bit like I feel like you're lowering your odds if you transition and then you just like still I don't know.
And be like a male to female trans lesbian.
Yeah, I just not for me I think, and then I just decided I would just take growth hormone instead.
Yeah.
Has this so you've like look smacked a little bit? You've been into this. Has this like improved your life?
Yeah. How have you look smacked like noticeably a lot?
Yeah, I think I've like improved a decent amount. Like I looked a lot more bloated before. My shoulders are a bit wider. I think it's like not something that you would like go on the street and be like, "Oh, his shoulders are so wide," you know?
Yeah.
But it's like I do feel better about myself. I think I'm like a lot happier with how I fit in clothes and stuff. And I think the biggest thing is I feel like I have like a lot more control over my life. Like because I feel like I've been able to change things that I thought I had no chance of changing.
Yeah.
So I never talked about like how the growth hormone I took actually affected me, or the aromacin. Aromacin is the name of the estrogen eliminator. So basically the main thing is one of the side effects you have to watch out is for like balding, because first of all estrogen helps you keep your hair, and also if you have more if you take out the aromatase, you get more testosterone in your bloodstream, and that converts into DHT, which also causes balding.
I know all about that.
Yeah. But it also causes body hair and another effect. And I did get a bit more body hair, and that's anyways. My hair didn't fall out that much, thankfully. And the HGH, I know it worked because my hands grew like a shit ton. And I didn't grow taller, but I think my skin got better. I did actually receive like a bit more hair back from the HGH, I think. But like I said, the main thing was I just feel better mentally about like what I can do. Yeah.
The black pill is really a white pill in some ways, because
it gives you a little bit of hope.
It goes to show that, 30 years ago, all these black pill things that feel hopeless, with enough human ingenuity, we can break your knees.
With enough capital.
With enough capital, basically, we'll fix any problem.
Yeah. With enough market incentive.
Like we can figure out anything.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
If it will get us laid, we can figure out anything.
Someone in Turkey will do it for you.
Someone in Turkey. We're gonna go get hair transplants in Turkey soon.
Okay, here's a question. So let's take someone who has like before the black pill existed, someone who has the exact mindset of a black pillar in the 1970s. Are they worse off? Are they more likely to be depressed and suicidal?
I think they're better off because there's no social media, there's no internet.
Yeah.
There's like less of an expectation.
They have not been connected to the global marketplace of sex.
Yes, that's one of the big things people talk about. It's like hypergamy, which incels talk about it specifically in relation to like women's desires, but I
Yeah.
know it's both genders. You know, men
it
want-
definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
both
like
genders.
it's just incredibly, increasingly unrealistic expectations from
Yeah.
both genders. So.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hypergamy. Do we need to define hypergamy? It's just dating up. Like you want to date someone who's better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like if as a guy you want to date a girl who's more attractive. As a girl you want to date a guy who like makes more money.
yeah,
Yeah.
and attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching all the people complain that women are hypergamous. I'm like, I'm hypergamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
It's what social media does to you. Like fucks up your standards. Yeah.
yeah.
This, I mean, I bring this up in my video too. Is the global hierarchy, right? That men are basically, the guy in the 70s with the black pill mindset is a loser in his small town, or like grows up in a town of 5,000 people. His hierarchy is the men aged 18 to 40 in the town he grew up in, which is going to be like 800 people, 700 people, and that's what he has to compete with. That's what matters. As long as he can just kind of like maintain middle ground there, his life will probably be fine. He'll probably have a wife and kids in a house and have a good, decent job, right? You have to be like you have to really fuck up to like be the bottom of that hierarchy. But now the hierarchy is global. Like a 14-year-old is looking at Andrew Tate as like the top of the pyramid. So
And Andrew Tate is not even a real guy. And what I mean by that is like he puts on a projected hypermasculine persona on the internet. You're competing with a fictional character.
Yeah.
You're competing with everybody's fictional character that they have on Instagram.
Yeah,
You're competing
yeah.
with Facetune people.
The 1% of the time where they look that good.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
competing with the 1% of the time that the 1% look that good.
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely, it's fucking wild. And then CJ, brought up the point that one time about breaking out of the hierarchy, like going like being queer and queer culture being like its own separate hierarchy. Like being like queer culture is denying this one single global hierarchy, and creating a separate hierarchy, or the decision to tap out of the hierarchy entirely.
And in that way, queerness is actually a radical antithesis to all of this stuff that we're talking about.
It is.
That's crazy.
Queerness is a radical antithesis to all the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just thought it'd be interesting to mention that the forum has banned gay people.
What?
Really?
You are not allowed to be gay on the forum, but you are allowed to be trans. So I don't know.
Why aren't you allowed to be gay?
What?
I don't know. I think women are banned as well, but the cell is still there. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
So gays are banned. Trans people are okay.
I think maybe if you were a respected member before.
Right.
I don't know.
Man, that's
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, I guess maybe gay guys, though it's a bit different. I just maybe the standards aren't as standardized in what gay men find attractive. There isn't as much as isn't as much of an ideal.
Well, this takes us to the homo cell hypothesis, which is this idea that all gay people. Oh shit. I was in the bathroom, and so
like looking at your own face.
I looked at my own face. So this is something that hit me in the bathroom. The camera just died, and we took a little break. And so, Brogan, when you plugged your face into the black pill analyzer, my first instinct was like, oh, that of course that's something Brogan would get into. He would go into that rabbit hole. He would like that's just the kind of person you are. I wouldn't do something like that. And it hit me in the bathroom. I'm like, actually, I don't know if I'm psychologically prepared to get black pill facial analyzed. Like it's never happened to me before. I don't know what it's going to do to my psyche. I'm way more neurotic than you. We're going to do it for the sake of the pod.
Yeah.
But that's what hit me. I was like, oh my God, wait, hold on. This is ugh.
Do you think you're a 7?
I don't know.
Okay,
It's being perceived so much.
Dude, you've had so much good luck with girls. And light, you're a fucking giant YouTuber who's had like a bunch of girlfriends and you've been fine. Like, how would your life tangibly get worse from
you were fat and you were happy.
Yeah.
I would trade inches. I would gain 100 pounds if I was just happy. Like we are different people.
Yeah.
I'm so neurotic and insecure.
Really?
Yes.
You don't come across as
I'm immensely neurotic and insecure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we were talking about before the camera died, or when the camera died. But like, yeah, I was like 270 pounds, and I was insecure about it to the extent you imagine like a normal person would be. Mm-hmm. But my life was not. I was fine. I had a girlfriend. I was obese. Had a girlfriend. Had a giant friend group. Good job. Like, I was happy. I was not like paralyzed with fear from the fact that I was fat. So
testament against the black pill. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I think the argument they would use is that I'm from a rural area, like Halifax, Nova Scotia, and like Truro, Nova Scotia. It's just it's small enough that you exist in sort of a different realm.
Right. Maybe localism is the meme against the black pill.
Yeah, localism is the meme. Yeah.
People say that Latinos are immune because they have such strong family structures and like social structures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's like in Nova Scotia. You have such a strong social. Like I fucking dude. I have a picture of me. I was like a little bit bigger than I am now. I'm at a party, and I have a shaved head. We all shaved our heads, so I have like an unfaded, like at home #2 buzz cut, and I'm sitting like this, no muscle mass before I ever went to the gym. And I have a double chin and a mustache. And I was sitting like this. I had 4 girlfriends when I looked like that.
Damn, you were
I was fucking 4 girls, and I would like I'd wake up in the morning and like cycle, like ask 3 of them or 4 of them, and then 1 would come over. That was my life at that point.
This is what they don't want you to hear.
Yeah, it was like constant. It was crazy.
That's fine.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's Halifax, Nova Scotia. Maybe it's different.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely worse the more atomized you are, like, and because then the more like first impressions matter.
Yeah, this really is a symptom of atomization.
Yeah.
It's really a symptom of the disintegration of community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the global marketplace of sex. Wow.
Yeah.
we're really onto a lot here.
Yeah, nice.
Should we just rip the Band-Aid off?
And do the facial analysis.
Yeah, who should start?
You start with me.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I noticed with your Anglo-Saxon genes, so could you turn to the left for me? Okay, so you have pretty decent forward growth. You definitely are not recessed. So recessed is like when your maxilla, your upper jaw and your lower jaw don't grow out enough. And an example would be sometimes when you see someone and it looks like they have like no chin.
Yeah.
And it's because their jaw is like small and it's not like grown out enough to where it has definition. Like it's not grown out to the point where it's pulling the skin around it into a shape. You definitely don't have that. You have like forward grown jaw, you have forward grown upper jaw. It's not as projected as like some other ethnicities maybe, but it's not like recessed for sure. And then could you turn? So your nose actually like projects outward like this, and it means you have a good maxilla base. But it's just you have a flat maxilla, so it's not gonna be like the kind where it slopes out like this, Yeah. You have strong brow ridge. You have very good upper eye hooding. You have, I think, good under eye support too. You don't have any like concealer on this or anything, right?
No.
Yeah. So if you had bad under eye support, you would have like pits here, and you would have like dark circles, and that's like something that's could be because of sleep, because of skin texture, but also if you just don't have enough bone here, it'll be like dark like that. I don't know about your hairline, but
it receded like when I was 18. Then I started taking finasteride and doing minoxidil, and it stopped. So it's been like it's far back, but it's been like that for 5 years.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think that's like because I don't really know how to tell between like a big forehead and a receding hairline, but either way, that's like something you can change now with like finasteride and minoxidil.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'd say coloring. You have, this is such a weird word to say. So coloring is what people use to refer to like your skin tone, your like eye color, your hair color, stuff like that. You have classic white features. You have like blue eyes. You have like pale skin. There's like nothing failing you there.
Yeah.
Your eyebrows, I think if you want, you could darken them, but I think it's like up to you, right?
I do usually. I started filling them in because I have eczema that flares up, and when it flares up, they thin. So I started filling them in darker for when that happens, but then I just keep doing it because so
it's like completely up to you. Like I know a girl who I think dyes hers like once every 2 weeks, but I've never tried it.
Yeah.
So what are some things he could do to look smacks?
Okay, you are already working out.
Probably like weight loss. I feel like if I could lose 30 pounds, like I have a gut. I know I'm working on that, but
yeah, maybe. I feel like you're definitely not gonna do any hard maxes, right?
No.
Yeah.
I'd probably go on like TRT if I was 42.
I have a list of soft maxes. Let's see. Are you doing anything for skincare? Your skin texture looks a bit dry. Like I can see lines, but also
I have super dry skin. I do the gua sha and I just moisturize.
How do you moisturize? What's your current routine?
I'll do a facial cleanser.
Okay.
And then I also have colloidal oatmeal one for eczema.
Okay.
But it's like a 2-in-1 moisturizer that fights eczema and then also works as a moisturizer.
Is that like an oil-based one, or is that like a...
I think it's pretty oil-based.
So basically with skincare, the current theory that I'm using right now is you want something to hydrate your skin with like water, and then after that you want like an occlusion layer. That's going to be like oil to keep the water in.
Okay.
So what I use for water is I use like aloe vera, and there's this like... it's just called like hydrogel. I got it at like a Korean market somewhere here. But basically, those are humectants. They suck the moisture out of the air and they pull it into your face, and then after that, you lock it in with like an oil layer. I don't know if aloe vera would work because you said you have eczema. So sensitive skin, obviously, it depends for everyone on what they're gonna react to. But you could try using like hydration. You can also, so the ones, aloe vera and hydrogel are very cheap. They're like $5 for a tub. If you do like actual skincare, like the companies will gouge you, you know, you can get like a serum or an essence, but those are going to be like $40 for like a tiny tube.
Yeah.
And then oil layer, maybe you could benefit. Toronto's pretty dry. So what I do is I will use a layer of, I think it's argan oil when I sleep and when I go outside because the wind blows. I dry out if I don't, because I think it's because, you know, my ancestors are from like the jungle, right? The humid jungle. And then I'm out here in the cold. So we don't have like that kind of stuff. And also when you like use a cleanser, it strips the oils from your skin.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what do you think about the black pill AI thing saying that his jaw was his weakest point?
I think it's probably just reading like, I think it was just looking from the front, right?
Yeah.
Did you have it like this too?
There's a caveat with this AI is that it cost me $2 to take a
You
picture.
paid $2.
I paid $2 and I couldn't take another picture and get it analyzed unless I paid another $2.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of incentive to put you lower than, because I remember like I don't have a bad jaw.
I don't think you have a bad jaw.
Yeah, but I'm like just rationally, I'm not don't have a perfect job, but like it's not bad.
Yeah.
It could have been like, I think also especially photos, it's hard to convey like your actual like skull features. Like you could have been wearing like a light shirt in like a room where like the lighting goes down like this and then your jaw looks like not very defined, or you could have been like fatter at the time. And then also I don't know what it's looking for. It's hard to tell because I'm assuming because it's black pill, it's probably looking at certain ratios.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ratios that you can use to, you know, really obsess about your face. So one of them is like your like eye ratio, you know, how close they are together. One of them is like how wide your eyes are. And then one of them is like your face width to height, FWH, face width to height ratio. You have like the philtrum, which is this part, this line between your nose and your lip. Philtrum to chin ratio. You want to have ideally 2 to 1 or something because you don't want it like a big philtrum and a big, you know, this. Oh, hang on. Yeah. You're good. And then so I don't know what the AI was looking for, but you're definitely not recessed.
Yeah.
I want ice on the sides of my head, like a fish.
like Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Other softmaxes. No, I mean, give me a smile. Yeah. I mean, you could go like, bro. I think teeth whitening, I like tried it and I think I fucked up my enamel. So it's up to you.
Yeah, there's things I feel pretty good. I don't really think about how I look that often. Well, I do. I'm very like, big on personal hygiene and outfits and shit. But like, I'm never like, I don't know. I never feel bad about how I look. I feel pretty good.
All right, let's just rip
Yeah,
it off.
You're good. Like none of you are like ugly.
Okay, let's just let it go.
Okay. So
Let's get it over with.
can you turn to the side?
Oh God.
Okay, so your strongest feature is probably your like nose projection. You have very good nose projection.
But like also the nose is like large and it's got like that hook to it.
I think that's like cultural. I think it's like pretty common for. Are you? Can I? Are we allowed to dox your ancestry?
My ethnicity, I'm mixed, so there would be difficult.
Okay.
But I'm not Jewish.
Okay. Either way, this one actually. So by the way, you have a wider gonial angle. So if you the gonial angle is the angle from this to this. This is the gonian, the like point where the two lines connect. And
Like right there.
yes, right there. That angle. And if you have like higher, you want an angle. People say that you want like a smaller angle. Like for example, J-Reg has like a very tight angle. He has like a 100 maybe or like 90 degree jaw. But also, I think it depends on. This is a cultural thing. I think it depends. Like for example, for women, for example, if you have too much of a right angle jaw, in some cultures it's viewed as too masculine. But also you have like people like Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie has a very robust jaw, very like 90 degree. But people think she's like very feminine, very beautiful, right?
Don't incels hate Margot Robbie? I think they call her like a 4.
I think that's people on Twitter.
I remember I just saw this thing about Margot Robbie. I saw this thing about incels calling Margot Robbie ugly. It was a thing, and then everyone was like, "How the fuck could you?"
I think
come to that conclusion, and they had their answer was like some weird analysis of her face?
Personally, as a guy, I was like very I had a very bad reference for what like women actually look like, because when I was outside, I only saw women with makeup on. And I think when you grow up like only seeing people with makeup on, you sort of internalize that as part of the range for what people can be. Like obviously I saw my sister and my mom at home without makeup, but I just assumed there was like a very big range for women. So it was very shocking for me to see like some women take off their makeup and they change drastically.
Right, yeah.
So that might be what it is, but I don't know who it is, so it's hard to say.
All right, keep going.
Anyways, yeah, so you have like a very masculine jaw, nose projecting out, brow ridge. You have good upper eye hooding as well, and your under eye is a bit weaker. Like, do you see how there's like a bit of a bulge, but it's not too bad. Your coloring, okay, I feel so weird saying this out loud. The coloring part, but you have like more tan skin. Your eyebrow, I would shape your eyebrows.
Shave them?
No, shape.
Shape them.
But it's up to you.
How would I shape them?
I only know how to shape eyebrows into Chinese shapes, so I went on like Chinese social media, and then there's like, you know, guides for like the kind of shapes.
How do you shape? Do you pluck with tweezers?
I use tweezers. Yeah.
Okay.
You could use, there's like you can get little like blades like you scrape like that.
Yeah.
But they'll like grow back, and then you have to do it more. It's
Right.
like, kind of annoying.
Super normal thing to do. That's not like
That's not weird.
No, I mean people with unibrows do that all the time.
Right.
They just take a little like microblade and
I was
okay.
bugging my friend with a unibrow to do it for like the longest time, and then when he finally did it, you look way better.
Okay.
I'd say like 20% of the population on Earth does that.
But it's like up to you, because
Okay, so shape my eyebrows.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you don't have any like glaring flaws either.
Go on, just get
No.
do an objective analysis.
Okay, I can look at like what softmaxes you could do. I mean, same with skin. What is your skincare routine?
I like wash with a cleanser, and then I haven't been moisturizing as much as I should, and I have like one serum, and it's like a hydraulic acid.
Hyaluronic.
Hyaluronic.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could do more skin maybe, but
Yeah. So like, what should my skincare routine be?
Yeah, so-
is it the same thing? Like
Same thing, I think.
Because I'm also from the jungles, probably.
you will have to figure out what works for you.
Okay.
But generally, yeah, that's like you shouldn't go overboard though. Like a lot of people, they go too much and they just add like too much shit, and their skin just reacts poorly, and they're like, let's add more shit, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I see a lot of those like those shiny girls.
Yes.
I see a lot of shiny girls,
It's
and like you're a
clean
little
girl aesthetic.
yeah, but they're like too clean. They're like reflective.
Right.
That one throws me off.
All right. Decile scale, both.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that.
But you know, it's in your head.
If you guys really want to,
Yeah,
you can
decile scale.
go to the forums and then post.
Okay, yeah. We can true rate me.
r/true
Yeah,
rate me.
I'll post you guys. Just rate this YouTuber, you know,
Yeah.
and then you guys can do the ratings. But
Ay.
I think you're okay.
Catastrophe.
you guys are both fine. Like
I think you're objectively attractive.
I just hate being perceived, really.
yeah, it's understandable.
What's your body count?
That's a question I have to ask before the conversation. Answer before the conversation continues.
Yeah.
What's my body count?
Yeah, what's your body count?
What's my body count? Less than 30 and above 20.
Okay.
It's like 25 or 6 or something.
That's pretty good.
Fake cell.
I think so.
Yeah.
What?
Fake cell, like a fake incel.
Oh, fake.
Yeah.
Fucking fake cell.
Yeah.
Do you know it here?
Yeah.
We know just our friend from Vancouver, just a normal guy, 30 plus, just banging away.
Yeah. Well, this is, before when we were talking about the tiny guy who can't get laid, right? I feel like that propagates an ideology, and then a normal guy sees that and they're like, oh, this is my problem as well. And then they fall into the ideology as well, the black pill, the real black pill of just like complete helplessness. Like
they get scared into thinking there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you take a short, fat, ugly guy who like really has like less hope for himself and can't get laid, and then he creates an ideology or talks online, and then like an 18-year-old guy who's like 5'10", 6, 7 out of 10, like normal attractive, sees that and they go, that's my issue, that's why I can't get laid.
Yeah.
But he's a child and he looks normal, and then it kind of ruins his perception of how reality functions forever.
A lot of people on the forum, they're like exactly like that. Like they're perfectly normal. They would be fine if they just like stopped worrying so much, and then they're just there because they have scared themselves into thinking there's like no way out. And then that's why a lot of the time you'll have a good looking guy go into the forum, like ask to get rated, and then these like people who have like dwelled there and like rotted there for like years, they'll be like, get off the forum now, you know?
Yeah. They're like, save yourself.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it's genuine. Like I think the average age of the forum is probably like 16 or something.
That's
interesting.
With the TikTok stuff, especially. It must have moved the age down.
Yeah, but with a 16-year-old like asking like is it over for me? I can't get laid. But like a 16-year-old, I guess time moves slower when you're that young.
Yeah.
Like months feel like years, but like you're 16 then. Like
But also, I think like school can like teenagers can be like really brutal, you know. Like I hear stories. Well, actually, I'm not surprised. And like I said, I feel like there's nothing else you can really use as like a teenager in school other than maybe if you're good at sports, then that's like one thing. But other than that, you're like kind of fucked if you don't look good. Because how else you're gonna impress them with like your philosophy knowledge, you know? Yeah.
My next main channel video is called "Is It Over for This 12-Year-Old Child?" I showed you the script, and you actually helped me write it in terms of like adding some specific black pill facial analysis stuff to talk about, like bug eyes and upper eyelid exposure and stuff.
It is over. Yeah.
It's over.
Nah.
It's over. Yeah. This was a great podcast.
Yeah.
This was fascinating.
Yeah, this is a really fascinating. The whole topic is fascinating, and it's getting worse.
Yeah. It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. You know, the incel black pill ideology. Thought that was like a fad. It was like, 2017 Toronto van attack. We're like, wow, this is like a crazy blip. It's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, most of the crazy blips you see actually are just little seedlings for stuff that's in the future.
Yeah, the crazy blips you see are the first time they enter the mainstream.
Yeah.
the first time normal people think about these things.
Yeah. My only regret with the podcast was we couldn't get like a woman's experience about what we were talking about.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
I know.
Maybe next time. We will get a woman on the pod one of these days.
Yeah.
A broad on the pod?
Broad on the pod? Broadcast?
Yeah. A broadcast.
Oh, man. I think a broadcast would be good. Would that do anything?
What do you mean?
Would that change the world?
What would that do?
What would that do?
This podcast... Well, are any of our podcasts going to change the world here?
Yeah, they all have so far.
Can you pass me the vape on the chair?
Here you go, big guy.
Thank you.
Many vapes, big dog.
You want a vape?
No, I'm good.
I have one more controversial question.
Okay, yeah, let's cap it off with that.
Do the black pillars have different assessments of height depending on race?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I think a short white guy is funnier than a short Asian guy.
Okay. So, well, actually, first of all, white. I mean, are you more surprised at a short Norwegian guy than like a short Italian guy? You would be, right?
Yeah, like a tiny Norwegian guy is weirder than a tiny Italian guy.
Yeah.
Tiny Italian guys, that rolls off my tongue. Tiny Italian guy.
Yeah.
So I think race definitely plays into it, but I think it's also mostly about location. Like people will say how tall they are, and then they'll say where they are, and then how they feel about that. Like, they'll be like, oh no, I'm 6'1" in like Norway. Most people are taller than me, or they'll be like, I'm like 5'11" in Toronto. I feel like okay or something.
Yeah.
But I think
or being like super tall in the Philippines.
Yeah. People will tell you to passport max, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Passport max.
Scourge,
right? Because these people, they're contributing to the problem, right?
Yeah, and as an Asian, I
right.
Stay out. Yeah.
That's what everyone went after Hamza for, as he lived in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he would talk about like getting laid. He's like, I have girls in my apartment every night, and then they're like, bro, you live in Bangkok.
All these red pill guys contribute actively. They accelerate the problem that they critique.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
But that's like, I mean, I feel like most people do that though. They like see a problem, but they'll still do it anyways.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask before this podcast ends is, could you do like a tier list of looks maxing strategies?
Yes, I can. There's like a lot. I have a list actually. So let's go through. Do you want to do the hard maxes first? Because I feel like those are the most
do the hard
rare
maxes.
ones.
Yeah.
Okay. So first one is gonna be bone smashing. This is like a hard max. Like people say it's like hard maxing, but a general consensus is it's cope. And worst case scenario is you get brain damage. Best case scenario is maybe it works.
You led into that like you were gonna say it wasn't that severe. You're like, people say it's a hard max, but
it is. It gives you brain damage.
Okay, so how you're actually supposed to do it is just like, like wrap on like your skull. This looks so stupid, right? But the idea is that it uses Wolff's law, which is a theory that bones respond to continuous pressure and impact by growing in that direction. So like some examples where they use that theory in like looks maxing is they say like soccer players get taller because they keep kicking each other's shins, and then they'll grow. Or like boxers, they're like their like knuckles grow in the forward, like here, and then their like faces grow and stuff.
Yeah.
But generally,
It gets denser. I mean, that's why people like punch fucking concrete walls and,
Yeah.
and shit that
That's
dents
like-
in their hands.
that's a big debate. Like, does it get denser or does it like bulge out?
Okay.
Yeah. But also it's like very slow, and it's like you look stupid. It's like time inefficient. You know. Also, it's probably not good for your brain carriage to be rattling like that, right?
So it's not like breaking the bone. It's,
do not use a hammer to bone smash.
No, you do it like gently with your fist
Yeah.
over time.
Okay.
I imagined it being like you break your
The hammer
cheek,
stuff is a meme. Do
Right.
not
you
not
break
hammer
your cheekbone and then it like grows back.
Okay,
bigger.
okay. Bone smashing sucks.
Yeah, but bone smashing sucks. Okay, SARMs. So like, you know, where you juice. I think those will get you like probably pretty good results. You know, you can just get like jacked, get like really cut. You know, put like a Tinder picture up. If you're in California, you'll probably get laid. Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're like white, you're like tall, stuff like that.
SARMs are like really light steroids, right?
Yeah, well, it depends. So a lot of the reason why people take them is because they're oral, and they generally, instead of like, I don't know exactly how they work, but I think the main one is instead of adding testosterone, traditional steroids, you inject them and you just get surplus testosterone, and that comes with like a lot of side effects. Like you have to add like estrogen because no. You don't add estrogen, but you have to do stuff. Whatever. Either way, SARMs, they modulate parts of your brain to produce more of like what you already have. So people think it's like better because you're not adding stuff and because your body is the one making it. So for example, one that I'm familiar with is MK67. It's not actually a SARM. It's a growth hormone agonist.
Sick name.
Yeah, MK67.
I want to take that.
Dude, research chemicals have such crazy names. RAD40 is one of the
I know,
huge
I've
ones.
heard of it, RAD40.
Yeah, I know, rad, bro. Yeah, and anyway, so MK67, it makes your brain like always think it's scared or something, so it's always like putting out like growth hormone.
That's what you need.
I need more fear.
Yeah, that's what you need. That's all you're missing.
Yeah, more fear.
And then so that's like one of the alternatives to
Neuroticism maxing.
yeah, to traditional height maxing. But then I think SARMs will get you good effects, but people are really scared of them because they're like untested. Like people don't know what they're gonna do.
Right,
I think that's a
right.
valid fear.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the COVID vaccine, that's like they're experimenting on us. SARMs time. Look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like mid tier.
I would say, yeah, probably. It
Okay.
depends on what your goals are. And then traditional steroids, I would say, are like worse. I think like you don't need to be that jacked to get women. I think, or also I feel
Right.
like it's more inconvenient, but also it's been tested. People know what it does.
Okay, so bone smashing, traditional steroids, SARMs.
Yeah, it's kind of up to you for like that's like physique stuff. And then next one is chemical height maxing. So like we said with like, you know, pinning growth hormone and stuff.
Yeah.
And MK67. I think you should do it if you can afford it, you feel like you need it, and you're smart enough to be on top of that, because there's a lot of stuff you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
Like not just the estrogen thing, the growth hormone itself has big side effects. When I was spinning it, my blood sugar would go to like pre-diabetic levels.
Wow.
And then I bought like a testing kit here, and I would test every morning to see my resting blood sugar. I would do like cardio so my blood doesn't turn to like sludge, you know. And then you'd have to like make sure you eat well. You have to do like, some people they do like Lantus with it, which is like a diabetes medicine, but I didn't want to do all that. I took cinnamon, which is supposed to help. You can take like berberine or something too. There's like a lot of stuff. You have to research this stuff if you're gonna modify your body in like drastic ways.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it for some people who are considering it. And I mean, I think especially traditional growth hormone, they've been giving it to kids for years now. I feel like some people say it can give you cancer, which is like a big thing, right? But also they give it to kids, and there's never been a actual study that proves that there's a link. If you have a tumor and you have growth hormone, it'll make the tumor grow faster. So you have to be on top of that too.
Yeah.
But I think height is also a pretty big thing. I think frame as well is a big thing. So if you need it, then you should consider it.
I mean, there's a link just between mass and cancer. Like, you have more muscle mass, you have a higher likelihood of cancer. More protein intake is more cancer.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
why like really low calorie vegan diets.
Are actually
Really good for-
genuinely anti-carcinogenic. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
the trade-off is like fatigue, weakness,
Sure,
lack
sure.
of muscle mass.
That feels right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what are some good tier ones?
So I think that one's good tier. Double jaw surgery, I think is also a good tier. So double jaw surgery, it's called Bimax. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. So it was invented for people with like breathing problems and sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So it's for people with very recessed jaws. And
Oh.
they slice here and they slice here, and then they bring it forward, and then they cut off the excess, and you move your jaw like this, and then
Wow.
it's for people who don't have enough forward growth. And for a lot of people, it can be very life changing. It's mixed results though. Like if you have a base for it, it can bring you from like a 4 to like an 8 But also, some people do it and there's like no change. It depends on the surgeon. It depends on your like base. It depends on like the movements. It's really complex, but it's one of the most theorized hard maxes on the forum because of how big the potential is. And there's like stages to it. So, there's different areas. They're called left forward stages, and it's how much of the skull you move forward. And like people on the forum will dream about like left forward like 5 or something, where they cut out like this part. No one does it. They do it for like people with like car crash accident skulls or something. But, stuff like that it's like really talked about, not done often, but I think there is potential. And if you need it for breathing, you know, it's gonna help with that too.
So the jaw one's like a heavily researched, standardized procedure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And some people do it for aesthetic reasons, but most of the time people get it and they get it covered by saying they have like sleep apnea. But you have to be able to prove it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you do have sleep apnea, you just
yeah. I told my friend, the guy who put me on the incel stuff, that I had sleep apnea. He's like, "Wow, that's great. Now you can."
yeah, awesome. You have sleep apnea. That's great news.
Yeah.
Okay. Soft maxing.
Yes. Soft maxing. So I think starving, great. You know, cut down on like your fat and stuff.
Yep.
Starving or fasting?
Fasting. Okay. No, just like leaning down. Right?
Starve maxing.
Starve maxing. Yeah.
I think diuretics are also great. Like for special events where you need it, sure, just take it. It's like makeup for I don't know, neurotic men maybe.
Makeup for neurotic men.
Subliminals. This one is a huge cope for teens. They think that they can listen to YouTube videos with like certain frequencies and then they'll change.
Oh fuck, dude,
0 out of
that's
10.
insane,
Bro. No, but it's like teenagers love to be delusional. You know.
Yeah.
0 out of 10. 0 out of 10. Do not do. And then skincare is great. I think big thing is if you have a major problem that's causing you to have bad skin, like if you're just not sleeping right, skincare is never gonna fix that. But most people will just have like nicer looking skin if they do skincare. But it's not like gonna fix the root of your problem. Grooming, just like taking care of yourself, it's good, right? Yeah. You should take care of yourself. Fashion, yeah. Gym, yep. I think these are like, obviously gonna make you look better. People in the forums say they won't, but they're coping. Braces, teeth whitening. Braces is a contentious one. So some people think that when you have braces, it will actually restrict your skull from growing forward. And you have people like Mike Mew, he's like, you have a lot of orthodontists who say this. And there's 2 philosophies in dentistry where if you have like crowded teeth or something, one of them is you gotta pull teeth out and make room for it. And the other one is you gotta grow your skull out more so you can make room for the teeth. So that's like kind of going on right now. They haven't really figured out which one's best. People have like different views and stuff.
I got wisdom cocked.
Oh, did they take it out from you? They stole your wisdom tooth?
Yeah, they took my bottom teeth.
If they didn't do that, would you have had a bigger jaw?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm never letting them take mine. It's holding my bones up. And then you have colored contacts and lifts. So these I consider like to be low-key frauding. I think...
Frauding?
Yeah. Because colored contacts is where you have like brown eyes and you put in like blue eyes. I see. Something. And then lifts are where you put like shoe inserts. So
I see. So that frauding is when you're not actually changing your genetics, you're just changing your appearance.
Yeah, it's like when at the end of the day you will look still the same.
Right. It's like the difference between taking finasteride and wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
The lifts are crazy, man. Those things sell like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I saw this bodybuilder's getting like the fucking piss taken out of him right now. In his wedding photos, he's wearing like Chelsea boots, and you can just visibly see that the entire front of the shoe is empty and collapsed because his lifts are so high, his feet are on this angle inside the boots. Man. In his wedding photos.
Yeah. Well, you made me buy the same shoes you have, and they like put an inch on me, and my brothers were over, and they're like, did you get taller or something? I'm like, I don't want to be. I'm fine.
The shoe industry is going through height inflation.
What?
No, think about it. Look.
Yeah, totally.
That makes total sense.
Right
yeah.
Look, all the designer shoes that people wear boost your height up, and then like it's trickling down to like mall like brands. Like, okay, first just look at Balenciaga's. All their shoes. You see the Chinese kids wearing them. They have like 2 inches on them, right?
The triple S's. Like the runners, right?
Yeah.
The Balenciaga ones.
Like the really like big ones. Alexander McQueen has huge boosts. Air Force Ones, people love them, has huge boosts.
Yeah.
Converse, they just made like a thick soles one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every shoe brand you can think of now has like a pretty popular thick sole ones. And sometimes I'll just be in a room in a class or something, and I'll just look down and like half the people have like height boosting shoes.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I have a pair of Ricks that put like 2 inches on me.
You take a girl home, and then you're like towering over her, and then you take your feet off, and you're like below her now. You're like, no, the shoes stay on.
The shoes stay on during sex.
I saw a guy on the forum saying you should put shoe inserts in your socks, so then you have sex with socks on.
I see.
I've seen socks that have like a rubber thing on the inside.
So goofy. Socks on, stay on. Sorry.
Okay.
I never take my socks off.
Yeah.
You could do that. You could just never take your socks off.
True. This is a great podcast.
Okay.
So probably one of our best. I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
By everything we've talked about. Should we end with some hope, perhaps?
Yeah, I think like all this stuff, I can change how you really interact with the world, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna make you happy. That's like on you, right? It can give you the means to do things to make you happy or open doors for you, but like it's not gonna make like a. You still gotta do that work on your own, and even if you don't have these things, I think you can still find happiness for sure. I think. What do you guys think?
Raise your kids in a rural community.
Raise them as Siberia. You know?
Yeah. Raise your kids so they're around like the same 30 people all the time. I think personally, I think if you're not like a tiny disfigured guy, you shouldn't worry about this too much. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Is that my advice to like an insecure, like average teenager